Hi, ich habe 2014/15 an der Hochschule für Musik Franz Liszt in Weimar meine Staatsexamensarbeit, diese da, zu dem wunderschönen Thema Verändertes Musikerleben in hypnotischer Trance geschrieben. Und das habe ich gemacht, weil ich parallel zum Studium über 3 Jahre noch eine Ausbildung zum Hypnosecoach gemacht habe und mich dieses Thema wahnsinnig fasziniert hat. Mir ist die Arbeit neulich wieder in die Hände gefallen. Und ich fand es irgendwie blöd, dass man da 1 Jahr lang dran arbeitet und forscht und Experimente durchführt und die Ergebnisse dann irgendwie verschwinden und nie veröffentlicht werden, weil ich auch ehrlich gesagt viel zu faul bin, um dann noch ein Paper zu schreiben oder sonst was. Aber es gibt ja jetzt KI. Und tatsächlich konnte ich mit KI und einfach nur wenigen Klicks einen Podcast über meine Staatsexamensarbeit generieren. Das heißt, alles, was ihr jetzt gleich hört, ist automatisch generiert vom Computer und ich erkläre euch auch gleich wie. Tatsächlich habe ich nichts weiter gemacht, außer das PDF meiner Staatsexamensarbeit hochzuladen in ein Programm, dieses dann analysieren zu lassen und das Programm hat dann automatisch einen Podcast daraus erstellt und auch die Sprecher das Ganze sprechen lassen. Das sind also auch künstliche Sprecher. Und der Gesamtzeitaufwand, den ich damit hatte, lag bei ungefähr 5 Minuten, 1 Minute fürs Hochladen der Arbeit, 4 Minuten fürs Analysieren und Podcast erstellen. Das war tatsächlich alles und ich habe vielleicht 5 oder 6 Klicks gemacht. Ich habe nichts dran korrigiert, nichts vorher geschrieben, keine Anweisung erteilt. Ich habe nichts gemacht, gar nichts. Es ist ein kleiner Fehler drin. Der Podcast spricht von Musikbeispielen aus dem 18. Jahrhundert, glaube ich. Das stimmt nicht. Das ist das 19. Jahrhundert. Ansonsten ist es großartig. Also alles, was ihr jetzt gleich hört, ist automatisch KI generiert, ich habe nichts daran gemacht und viel Spaß mit meiner Staatsexamensarbeit.
You ever notice how a song can totally transport you back in time?
Oh, all the time.
It's like, boom, you're right back in that moment, feeling all the feels.
Yep, music has this uncanny ability to hook right into our emotions.
Totally. And that's what we're going to be diving into today, but with a twist.
A twist. I like where this is going.
We're talking about music's impact on emotions. But we're adding hypnosis into the mix.
Okay, now that's a combo I haven't thought about before.
Right. So we dug up this master's thesis, Altered Music Experience in Hypnotic Trance. Catchy, huh?
Gets right to the point.
For sure. So basically, they looked at how being hypnotized, actually in a hypnotic state, changes how we experience music.
Sounds fascinating.
Oh, it is. So picture this, they have this group of people, right? And they're randomly assigned to be hypnotized or not.
Control group versus the hypnosis group. Got it.
Exactly. And here's the kicker. They didn't just use any old music. They used classical pieces, mostly from the 1800s.
Interesting choice.
Right, and it was very deliberate. Think about those old composers, Chopin, Beethoven, all those guys. They were like the masters of emotional manipulation with sound.
Oh, absolutely. The drama, the intensity.
Yeah.
It's all there in the music.
Right, like those soaring melodies, those big crescendos. They knew how to play an audience's emotions like a fiddle.
Totally.
Okay, so they combined that kind of emotionally charged music with a hypnotized brain. And what happens? Well, first big finding, hypnosis kind of turbocharges the whole emotional experience.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Hypnosis is all about heightened suggestibility, right?
Right.
So emotions are probably going to be more intense too.
You'd think so, right. But here's the thing. It wasn't like they only felt the sad parts more deeply or the happy parts were euphoric.
Oh, so it's not just amplifying specific emotions.
Exactly. It's weirder than that.
Weirder how?
Okay, imagine taking the entire emotional spectrum of the music and just cranking up the volume knob on everything at once.
Whoa, so everything is just
More.
Way more.
Wow. Okay, so if someone was listening to something melancholic, it wouldn't necessarily make them sob uncontrollably.
Well, we'll get to that, but it's more like all the emotions baked into the music, whether they're happy or sad or whatever, just become way more intense.
Okay, so it's instead of just feeling a little sad, maybe they're feeling, I don't know, profoundly moved or something.
Yeah, something like that. If the music is supposed to be kind of eerie, it might make you feel truly unsettled. I'm really curious about this now. So how did people react? Do they even enjoy the music?
That's the thing. Even with the intensity ramped up, the hypnotized listeners, they actually rated the music as more positive overall.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, and that gets into some even wilder stuff about how hypnosis works on our brains.
Okay, now you've got to tell me more.
We'll dive into all that right after this break. So before the break, we were talking about how hypnosis seems to dial up all the emotions in music. But then, does that mean people enjoyed it less? Because, like, who wants all the negative stuff amplified, right?
And that's the really interesting thing here. Even with that intensity boost, the people under hypnosis, they actually rated the music as more positive overall.
No way. Even if the music was, like, supposed to be kind of sad or even a little creepy.
Yep, exactly. And this lines up with what we know more broadly about hypnosis. It's like it smooths out the emotional bumps. Those negative feelings get toned down and the positive ones become more accessible.
Huh. So, like, could you use hypnosis to change how you react to a song? Like, say you've got a song that always reminds you of something bad. Could hypnosis help you make a new, better association with it?
Now, that is a fascinating question. And to be honest, that's really an area for more research. This study, it was more about how we perceive the music than like therapeutic uses. But it does make you wonder, right? About the potential for music and hypnosis together for therapy.
Yeah, totally. Like, think about anxiety or PTSD, especially when some sounds can be really triggering. Could this be a way to, like, help people enjoy music again, or at least not have it be a negative thing?
It's definitely a possibility. But to get why music and hypnosis have this connection, we need to look at the brain. Specifically, this thing called, it's a mouthful, hypofrontality.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna need some help with that one. Sounds kind of scary, to be honest.
I promise it's not as complicated as it sounds. Imagine you're just totally lost in the music, like the rest of the world just fades away and you're completely in that sound, that feeling, that being totally absorbed. Part of that is because the prefrontal cortex in your brain is taking a little break, and something similar happens in hypnosis.
So my brain is basically like, peace out for a bit. No wonder people find hypnosis relaxing. But how does that connect back to the music part?
Okay, so the prefrontal cortex, that's like the control freak part of your brain. Always planning, overthinking, analyzing everything. And it's also the part that keeps our emotions in check. So when it chills out, like during hypnosis, we're less able to control our emotions in a way.
Hold on, I think I'm getting it. So less control from the prefrontal cortex equals a stronger emotional experience of music because our brains aren't, like, filtering those emotions as much.
You got it. And this lowered prefrontal activity, it's also why we get more suggestible under hypnosis. That inner voice, the one that doubts everything, it's basically off duty. And music, because it already has this power to tap into our emotions, it just gets even stronger in that state.
This is blowing my mind. So we're really, like, peering into how music and our brains work together, and then what happens when you add in something like hypnosis. It's wild.
It really is. And it makes you wonder, what else is there to discover? I mean, this study used classical music, but what about other genres?
Right. Would you get the same kind of amped up emotions from, like, heavy metal, or what about something super chill like ambient music?
Right.
So many questions.
Right.
Like,
Heavy metal, you'd think that would be super intense under hypnosis.
right. Or imagine ambient music. Would it just, like, completely sweep you away?
So many possibilities.
I know. And it really shows how much we still don't know about music and our brains and, like, what happens when we mess with that whole system.
Totally. So much to explore. Anything else from the study that really stood out to you?
Yeah, if you zoom out a little, this research gets us thinking about music therapy in a whole new light.
Oh, how so? Well, if hypnosis can make our emotional response to music even stronger, could it also make music therapy even more effective? Like, could it really boost those benefits?
Oh, that's an interesting thought. Like, could it help people who haven't responded to traditional therapy?
Exactly. So much potential there.
Totally agree. We should do a whole deep dive just on music therapy sometime.
Definitely. But for now, I want to leave you with this thought. This study, it focused on the emotions people thought they heard in the music, not necessarily what they actually felt while listening.
Okay, yeah, I get you. Like, I can tell that a song is supposed to be happy, even if I don't feel happy listening to it.
Exactly. And then that brings up another big question. Does hypnosis, like, close that gap? Does it make what we hear in the music match up more with what we actually feel? Something to think about, right?
Whoa. Yeah, it really makes you think about the power of music and, like, how much we still haven't unlocked about it.
Totally. It's like this whole hidden world of sound and emotion just waiting to be explored.
Well, on that note, I think we've done some serious exploring today.
We have. And given everyone a lot to ponder.
Absolutely. Until next time, keep those brains buzzing and those playlists playing.